Now then, people, welcome back to the Just Joe football show. Sorry for being late. It wasn't my fault. Corey was doing his hair, so he's the reason that we're late. It feels good to be back. Genuinely, it feels. I know, like I've been pretty busy on this channel, to be fair, but it just feels good to be back with you guys. You know what I mean? I've missed you. I've missed you all, to be fair. But before we get into today's video, make sure you subscribe to the channel, subscribe to these boys as well. And yeah, like the video, all that jazz. Yeah. Okay, let's just say hello to the folks there. We'll start with Corey. Corey, how have you been, mate? How's your summer? Are you over the Euros?
No, I don't even. I was in the gym today and 3 Lions come on the shuffle and I was turning it straight off. It actually made me feel a bit ill. The memories, and they showed it on BBC the other day of Bonucci shouting at it, and it just does me every time. I'm like, turn it off now. But other than that, I'm all right. I'm looking forward just to getting back into things, mate. I know West Ham has signed a goalkeeper today. We finally realised the transfer window is finally open, so we can get involved. And yeah, no, we've got a couple of pre-seasons. I'm going to go up there for the first time in probably it's near on 2 years now. It's been mental. I'm sure it's the same for you, lads. So yeah, buzzing to get back, mate.
Yeah, I can relate. You know, I had because when the Euros is on or whenever the World Cup's on, the tunes are on in the car and stuff. And there was a little bit of that for me afterwards. Like I'd be getting in the shower and then it'd come on. Southgate, you're the one. And I'd be like, get that off now. You know what I mean? Get it off now. I had to put up with that for a while. But yeah, that Bonucci thing was horrible, wasn't it? It's coming wrong. Like, it was horrible, horrible. Oscar, how about you, mate? What have you been up to?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Just been chilling, really. Great Euros, wasn't it? Until the last kind of 20 minutes of that final. But yeah, no, look, been chilling out, trying to get back into things. Good little game yesterday, Blackburn Leeds. Again, I think yesterday, I still don't know how to pronounce Pascal Strike. I don't know how to pronounce it. I still don't know how to pronounce it, but I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. Yeah, not too bad at all, mate.
Good. And obviously, Locks wasn't bothered about the Euros because Wales went out with a whimper, didn't they, mate? But how are you doing? Leicester look like they're doing all right. They're doing bits, eh?
Signing wise, yeah. I mean, we've had 2 pre-season friendlies so far, and we lost to Burton on penalties, and we lost 1-0 to Wickham last night. So not being great, but no, it's no one really cares about pre-season. I went to the first one last Saturday, and no one really gave a shit. To be fair, it was just singing and chanting and all of that. So good to be back in the ground. So yeah, it's finally everything's getting there, getting back to normal, and couldn't be happier about it. So yeah, all good.
Yeah, it's good. I did a watch along yesterday on my on here for Blackburn. Some things never change. Some things never change, right? New season, fresh start. Some things never change. Oscar's had to bail out because of his Wi-Fi or whatever's going on at his end. He'll be back. But yeah, I'm like you. Like pre-season for me means jack. It means nothing. It means nothing at all. I seen a lot of Manchester United fans. I was laughing when they got battered by QPR, and I'm like, can see people going into meltdown, and it's funny watching it, but it's like it's pre-season. Like, calm down. And like when we went 1-0 down yesterday, I said, please don't lose the game, because all it will be on Twitter is, we need signings, we're not ready, we're going to get relegated, all that just because you're losing pre-season. It doesn't mean anything for me. Of course, it's good to get goals and breed that confidence, but especially with Bielsa, he just switches it about. I mean, our first pre-season game was just the under-23s. Do you know what I mean? Against Guiseley. So, I don't know. I just want to shout out White Peacock, Andy. We will get to plenty of your comments as we go. He's popped in his super chat just to put it in the meter due to me being late. If it means that you're going to give us a $5 every time we're late, I will make sure I'm about 5 minutes late every stream, just so I can coin that $5. I'm only joking, Andy. Thank you as always for your support. You're always supporting me, mate. It means the absolute world. Right, what we're going to do on today's show, guys, I've asked the lads to go away and predict their Premier League table. We'll start from the bottom, make our way up, and just create our own, as it were. So once we pick on a position, we'll all come together and say, right, we're happy to stick that team there. And then next week as well, we're going to do, I think next week we'll do just some mad predictions. First manager sacked, player of the season, young player of the season. We'll have a little bit more chat about who's had best transfer window, worst window, etc., etc. And we're going to set up a fantasy Premier League as well for before the whistle blows. So if you want to get involved with that, you can do. And it just gives us something to extra to speak about on a weekly basis. Because as I say, this is going to be a foursome moving forward. Apart from when the lads are in Europe, because unlike me and Oscar,
you'll get there soon.
Some of these boys, some of these boys have European football this season, which is
not for long. Not
I'm
for
sure.
long.
Corey will be all right. He'll be on after a couple of weeks.
How are you feeling about that, Corey?
Look, I'm buzzing. I think the problem is the squad depth and how far we can go in it. But I'm encouraged to see the type of signings we could bring in, and it would be interesting for me to see, because Moyes typically with competitions normally throws them. He'll throw them in favour of the Prem, but because it is such an opportunity and it's so big for the club, I wonder whether he does take it seriously and we just burn out later in the season. I'm a bit torn on it, but I'm just buzzing to be in the group stage, because every time we've got there through fair play, or we lost the FA Cup final or whatever. Like, we're actually in for real. So I'm buzzing, mate. I'm buzzing.
Good stuff. We'll see if West Ham get Europe in our tables this season, won't we? So we'll have to.
I bet they don't. I bet you lot have absolutely caned them. So I'm prepared for this. I'm ready for this.
Well, let's kick it off then. Let's go 20th. Who wants to take us first on 20th position and reasons why? I'll open it.
Go on then. Go on,
mate.
Right, I've gone Watford. To finish bottom. You kind of know what's going to happen with Watford. It's very unlikely the manager's going to see the full season out. They go through 3 managers, I think, on the way to promotion last season, and kind of basing it off what Josh Hobbs has said on Twitter about Watford. He says they're very, very stodgy, not particularly great to watch, lacking a centre forward. You need goals to stay up. Obviously, Troy Deeney's like 35 now, I think. Did they have the goals to stay up? They've not really done much recruitment-wise so far. Could be totally wrong. You never really know with Watford. But I think they were pretty poor when they went down as well. Bottom of the table, Watford for me.
Good start, mate, because guess what? I've got Watford bottom of the table as well. So that's good to hear. Just before we get the other two lads, we've had a super chat come in from Sir Daddy. Thank you, mate. Member as well of Just Joe FC. Corey, thoughts on Ariola? I got loads of stick for sticking.
Is he better than Melier?
Exactly, Oscar. I got stick.
I know. Hang on. I'll just remember what that's all about.
Yeah.
I can't lie. I'm buzzing with it, because there was a bit of a trade-off between, do we get Sam Johnson or do we get Ariola? And when you actually break down Ariola's stats last season, he's better in Fabianski's weak areas, but there's no fall off in quality, and he's a genuine improvement. And the deal we've got, I think it's 1.7 mil loan fee. We can sign him for 11 mil next summer, which is a snip. He's 28. He's going to have years ahead of him. It's just an unbelievable signing. And Fabianski's getting older. To have 2 top quality number ones going into this season, given the competitions we were in, is brilliant. So I'm absolutely over the moon, mate. I can't wait to see him.
And West Brom want like 20 million, don't they, for Sam Johnston, which is a madness. They probably will get it off someone maybe, but it's going to be expensive, that, isn't it?
I like Sam Johnson as well. Like, honestly, if it had been between either of them, it really wouldn't have bothered me too much. I had a preference for Ariola. We'll see. We might be able to nick Pereira off from what I'm hearing recently in terms of getting that deal done, which would be, again, I'll be through the roof if we get someone like that. So we'll see, man.
Yeah. Keep the comments coming in as well. I just want to address this as well. Hal will be making a guest appearance when the lads are in Europe. He's not been able to commit because he's been getting it in the neck from his missus. But we do miss him. We wish he was here, but yeah, he will be. Keep your comments coming in. Go on then, Locks. Who have you got in 20th, mate?
I've gone Watford as well, mate. Yeah, I think they'll probably have a new manager within a month, 2 months into the season. A few poor bad results in a row, and he'll be gone. So, yeah, I can't see them really doing much this year. And it took some doing having a team below Norwich, but Watford is sitting in there. So.
Good stuff. I think we're pretty sold on that, but let's see from
you can have it. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty a toss-up between the last two, isn't it, really, Watford and Norwich. I've gone Norwich. To be honest, I haven't really seen enough activity from them in this window to give me any kind of confidence that they're going to try and beat the drop. It's such a weird strategy from a club just to get promoted, take the money, sell your best assets, and then just stabilise for a bit. So fair play to them financially, but I can't see them. I think Watford may benefit from a managerial bounce throughout the season. I don't know, like I just feel like they've got a decent enough squad, but yeah, Norwich straight down for me, rock bottom.
Cool. Well, I think the fact that we've got 3-1, I think we'll stick in Watford in 20th. 19th then, who wants to take us on that?
Norwich. Yeah, Norwich.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't really seen much of that. Have they made any decent signings, Norwich? I'm not sure if they have they? And they've lost Buendia, haven't they? So I really can't see them doing much unless Pookie has what he did that little mad period when they were in the Premier League last. If he can kind of revitalize that and bring it back and carry some form in, but I really don't see it, to be fair. So yeah, I've got them 19th.
So have you two the same then? Have you two got Norwich in 19th? Well, Corey, who have you got in 19th?
I've got Watford 19th.
Yeah. Okay, well, I've actually got Newcastle. I've got Newcastle.
You don't like them, do you?
No, it's not that.
I tell me.
I know that's a big shout. But I do fancy there to be. I do think two of the promoted sides will go down. I fancy one to stay up, but yeah, I've got Newcastle in there. But I think based on what we've got, we'll go with Norwich then. So we've got Norwich and Watford for the drop.
I think Gilmore's good business though. Billy Gilmore, yeah. But is that enough? That's I'm the same with Locks here. I think they need more goals in that team. They're not directly replacing Buendia. I just don't see Gilmore. I don't know enough about him, unfortunately.
No. Yeah, but Billy Gilmore's a great talent. I mean, if I remember rightly, Graham Souness was telling us that England needed Billy Gilmore, weren't he, when they got that famous 0-0 draw?
They won the 0-0 trophy, didn't they? That was an historic moment for them, honestly.
It was crazy, wasn't it? I was like, it's never coming home with these. And then giving it all. They need Billy Gilmore. And then it's like, hang on a minute, mate. We got to the final, man. Stick it up your pipe, man. Can't stand that man anyway.
No, same. I can't.
Yeah, he's a tool, isn't he? He's an absolute tool. 18th then, guys. Who have we got? This is where it gets interesting.
I reckon I've got a wild card here, but I'll let someone else go because I think there's probably more suitable contenders for the drop.
So I've got Norwich in 18th. So I had them going down in the bottom three. So, we've already got them in there. So who have you guys got? Oscar?
Southampton. Bit of a wild card. Very, very close this, but I've gone Southampton. The way they finished the season is terrible. They look poor both games against us. Last season, we beat them 5-0 in aggregate. Danny Ings, they're very, very reliant on Danny Ings. Are they going to get a full season out of him? He might not even still be at the club by the end of the transfer window. There's a couple of rumours that City, of all teams, want him as a backup striker to bring on in games. Interesting one. But yeah, I just don't see, even if Danny Ings stays, they need him to play every single game for me to get goals. And he's just not going to get that from Danny Ings. And, I think Hasenhüttl, since that Crygate or whatever we want to call it, they've just got absolutely just fallen to pieces. I think it's partly yourself, that Joe, that's caused that curse. I think you got in his head a bit.
Every opportunity I mentioned it, didn't I? Every opportunity I mentioned it. It was like we had certain. I remember a Manchester United fan coming out saying that Hasenhüttl was the manager that the media think Bielsa is, and all that sort of stuff. And yeah, he cried, and then he just felt a bit. Yeah, he just felt a bit stinny. Locks, who have you got in there, mate?
I've got Burnley. in 18th. Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, obviously, with the relegation fight at the end. But I think Burnley are going to run out of luck. I think they're finally, going to go down. And to be fair, I can't say I'll miss them from the Premier League. So I can see. I mean, I don't think Chris Wood's going to score enough goals to keep them up this year. So yeah, I see them going down in the third relegation spot.
Yeah, I seen they were after Maxwell Cornet, who Leeds United were after. Yeah. And I'd read that he was interested in Leeds, but then we signed Firpo. However, he's not interested in Burnley. I was like, I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Would you, though? Would you really be interested in Burnley?
You just can't, can you? They can't. Like, can you imagine him in a Burnley shirt, in a Burnley team under Sean Dyche? It's just ridiculous.
It's not happening, is it? So I've got Southampton in 17th. So obviously Norwich. So And you, so Oscar had said Southampton. Corey, who was yours again? Sorry.
I went Palace, and that's going to be
Right.
that's a bit of a mad one because I know they've signed some, and I'm quite jealous, to be honest, of some of their signings, but
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're going to gel enough, and I don't know whether that Crystal Palace squad is strong enough. And that sounds a bit odd because we're talking about teams like Newcastle and Southampton, but because of the change in manager, and from what I've heard, he's very possession-based. We saw when they tried to bring in De Boer in, it just fell apart at the seams. So, I don't know. That's my outside rank. I'm happy to concede that to anyone because I understand it is. But there's something about it where I'm not sure. I'm kind of secretly hoping they get relegated so I can pinch, I don't know, like Gahey or someone like that and take him to West Ham.
Do you know what it is? It's a bold prediction, but I've said it and I keep saying it. I think he'll be first manager sacked.
I think he will be as well.
Yep, I do. I've said it on Twitter a number of times to certain people. I know that if he isn't, and if he has a good season, I'm going to get battered for it. But it is what it is. You live and die by it, don't you? But I'm like you, Corey. I sense another De Boer situation. I do. I think there's been such an overhaul. They're going to try switch it up from Roy Hodgson again. And if it don't go well early doors, then do you know what I mean? It could be.
If you actually look at it, because sometimes people get blindsided by their signings. So they brought Anderson in the other day, another great player. But you're still looking at a team with Joel Ward in there. I think Milivojevic is not a bad player, but he's still in there. You know, it's not been a huge change. You look at striker outlay. I know Benteke had a good end to the season, but it's not necessarily prolific. Eze's out until January. It's not. I don't think it's as straightforward as maybe Palace fans will hope. So I've thrown him in there. Stuff it.
See, I disagree a bit. I really like Palace's recruitment, to be honest. I think Anderson and Gahey at the back, I think that's a really, for a team that's like kind of outside the top six, that's like really decent. I thought Anderson looked good for Fulham last season. But again, for me, the big question mark's Vieira. That's a big question mark for you. Yeah. I still think I think Palace a bit more mid-table myself, but that's the big question mark. If Vieira gets it right, you know, I think the quality's there for them to actually push quite high up the table, you know, maybe even push for maybe mid-table and that lot. But that's the big question mark, isn't it, Vieira, whether he can adapt. Is he another De Boer? Quite possibly. You know, it wouldn't surprise you, would it?
I mean, his managerial career has not been great thus far, has it? Is it New York and then Nice, wasn't it? And he got sacked at Nice, didn't he? After losing 5 on the bounce. I'm not sure that warrants a Premier League job. I'm not sure. What are we settling on then? I think the fact that I've got Southampton in 17th. So and obviously Oscar's got them in 18th. So I think Palace and Burnley. I think, do we go with Southampton?
Southampton, yeah,
go for that one, man.
Happy with that, right? Okay, who just survives from the drop then for you guys?
Tommy Franks, boys.
Yeah. That's quite low, Oscar. I would have had him higher. I've got a feeling.
Brentford? Really?
Yeah, honestly, genuinely. I don't know. I just feel like they're going to be a bit of a breath of fresh air. I could be completely wrong. But
what you really want to say is they're going to do a Leeds. That's the new barometer now for new.
They won't, mate. They definitely won't. They won't go that high. Trust me. They'll do all right. I'm impressed with what I saw in the Championship. You know, I think it'll take a couple of teams by surprise. I think tactically they're spot on. Ivan Toney is a huge player for them. I honestly think he could get 10+ goals next year, and and goals keep you in the league. So it'll just be defensively where they might slip up.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting. Janssen in the Premier League will be quite an interesting. If he starts though, because they've brought in, is it Kajar from Aja, is it from Celtic, who's the Danish centre half and that.
You imagine Janssen captain though. He's going to be in that back.
Do you not think Pinnock?
Pinnock,
they can't drop Pinnock surely, but I think Toney, the goals of Toney, as Corey said, I think that's enough to keep them up. I'd be surprised if they went. I think there's enough goals in that team, but I don't think they'll have struggle. They'll have some struggling moments. So Brentford, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, Locks.
Is this 17th? Yeah, I've got
just beating the drop.
I've got Brighton here.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Brighton's a funny one. I think kind of the start of last season, I was watching them and I thought they don't deserve to be as low as they are. I thought, they did play well at times, but as the season went on, I just kind of, I don't know, I grew a bit impatient with them watching them, if I'm honest. I think they'll have enough to stay up, but I think it will be a fight. I think, as I said, Burnley in 18th, I think it will be between them two. So, yeah, I've got them to just stay up, but I don't think they'll have a good season at all.
XG Kings, they'd have won the league, wouldn't they, if XG was a real thing? You know? Honestly, XG Kings. Well, I had Saints, but then I have got Brentford in 16th as well. Like, because I think they will stay up, but they won't get higher than, bottom half, if that makes sense. So I don't know are we happy to go with Brentford, boys? I feel like me and Oscar are ruling the roost.
Dominated the predictions.
Yeah, go on.
You don't want to know where I've got Brentford. You don't want to know where I've got Brentford.
Oh, yeah. Right, okay.
Oh, dear.
Save it.
You're right for conference, isn't it? 100%. He's got them well up there.
Save it, man. Save it. The reason as well, don't forget, guys, I did tell you that Italy would win the Euros prior to the Euros. I think I did. I think I did.
Hold on, mate.
That's a bit of a weird flex, that, considering they beat us in the final.
I know.
He just silver lining when we lost. I did tell you.
I did say.
He's coming home, but I did tell you.
I did say. They were my pick, but yeah.
I can just imagine as Saka missed that penalty.
Yeah, told you.
Joe just leans over and says, "You that win it." And you that win it.
What did I say all those weeks ago? No one believed me. As he says with like an England flag over him, his English shirt on, he's coming home.
It's funny because I'd edited up all my, because I did all the watch-alongs apart from the final because I wanted to spend it with my family, and I set up a camera in front room with kids and that, and I was gonna chop it all up and have it as like a compilation when we won it, and then obviously we lost. I'm not putting that out. It went straight in the recycle bin like that. Bam, no way. Yeah, it was mad. It was a good experience, but also very upsetting. But yeah, man, I did it. I did predict it. Let's right. What are we up to now? 16th. Who we got? Because I've got Brentford, so I'm out of this one. So I'm willing to concede 16th to one of you guys.
I had Southampton, so that one's gone as well.
Yeah.
I've gone Palace. Sorry, mate.
Newcastle.
I've gone Palace.
Okay. So toss up between Newcastle and Palace. Make your claims, guys. Why Newcastle?
I think Corey's already said it for me when he was talking. I think it was Corey who was talking about them. They're gonna trying to switch it up too much. Obviously, Vieira coming in. Just like they did with De Boer. I think I agree with you, Joe. First sack, they'll probably say within two or 3 months he's gone. Yeah. So I really can't see them lighting the league on fire really. So yeah, I've got them in 16th.
Cool. Oscar?
In terms of Newcastle, you just always know they're going to be in that kind of region. Probably just a little bit too good to stay up because Callum Wilson, you give him a chance, he scores a goal. He is probably one of the best finishers in the league, to be honest, in terms of just how the amount of goals he scores for a team that creates so little is incredible. But the rest of the team is dodgy. It's not particularly great. I don't know. Obviously, Saint-Maximin.
Isn't it?
Yeah, but can they get? It's the injury problem with Saint-Maximin. They've not really got more than 20, 25 games out of him so far. I think when he's on the pitch, to be fair, they look a much better team. But when he's not, who's going to make things happen? John Joe Shelby, the Longstaff brothers. I don't see it. And Steve Bruce, fans are back in the ground as well. We all know how much would have that turned last season if fans were in the ground when they were really struggling. Yeah. Steve Bruce isn't popular. Mike Ashley isn't popular. I think Newcastle will be better away from home than at home. And I'm not having to go to Newcastle fans. I just think the way...
You definitely are.
No, the Newcastle fans, they love football. There's no doubt about that. Yeah. But it's there's bloody... Joe from Sunderland trying to stir it up there.
Not from Sunderland. Don't say that. I hear that.
The crowd will turn. The crowd will turn at some point. 16 for me.
On a serious
but I'm happy to go Palace.
I do feel sorry for Newcastle. I got to say, because of the takeover business, and this will probably play into where they finish it. I don't think Ashley's going to spend money this summer. If he knows that arbitration's been delayed till sometime next year, they're not going to spend anything. So that it really is the squad that they've got. It'll only be minimal signings. So I think it's pretty straightforward 16 for Newcastle.
And Russ, who was a journalist at Rotherham, He actually works in the local press at Rotherham, and said the fans turned on Bruce at Rotherham on Tuesday in pre-season. So you can tell. And I think based on the arguments there, Locks, I think we can concede that Oscar won that, and I think we'll go with Newcastle in in 16th.
Oscar, you think Newcastle will finish below Palace? Yeah.
I just think Palace has got a little bit more quality. I just think the recruitment's a little bit better, but it's hard to say. But I just think Newcastle, they've got to get found out a little bit eventually. In terms of whether Bruce sees the season out. But yeah, I think Newcastle finished below Palace.
I've got Newcastle in 15th anyway, Joe. So
we're cool. We're cool. Just to like share the argument as well. I did say this as well.
we all did. You know what I mean?
I said Denmark. I said Denmark.
Oh,
yeah. It's a good shout, but yeah, I did say this. My brother caned me for that as well, because I persisted with Yilmaz in my dream team right up until the end of the group stage.
Dear me, that's some serious fake there, Joe.
I was like, he'll come good, man. He's going to come good. But yeah, they were terrible, weren't they? Right, so we've got 16th Newcastle, 15th. Then I've gone Burnley, which I know a few people haven't mentioned yet. Well, have mentioned, but we've not got in there. What about you, Osh? You've gone Burnley as well?
Yeah, same.
Corey?
Yeah, I honestly feel a bit sorry for Burnley, but I can't see them being above kind of lower table mediocrity. Like, they're not making enough signings. I think Everton have been linked with Dwight McNeil. I don't know whether that'll go through, because I know they brought Damari Gray and Townsend. But again, if he goes, I mean, they're really going to struggle. So, are you laughing about Damari?
Damari and Townsend, man. What is that about?
Their skin. Like, I think something to do with FFP, isn't it? They can't go and spend a certain amount. So, I don't know.
We've gone from like Ancelotti, James Rodriguez, Alan, and then Andros Townsend. I just don't get it, mate. Like, I was speaking to an Everton fan because Amy's dad's from Liverpool, and his dad, so her granddad. I know this is long-winded. My brother's granddad's mother's sister. But basically, we dropped Lily off at Ellen Road. We meet him halfway, and then and he's an Everton fan. He's got a season ticket holder, and he says he don't think it's bad business. But I was like, really? Like, Oscar, you've got a lot of Everton fan mates, weren't it? It's like, this is not good, is it? Townsend and Gray.
It's Everton is really, really not a happy club at the minute. It's just in general. I mean, no, they're not happy with Townsend and Gray, but they are desperate. In terms of like the news and that around there for Dwight McNeil. In terms of that's been going on for at least a month now, the Dwight McNeil stuff. So yeah, I'd imagine one of Townsend or Gray is just going to be kind of like rotation players. It's just tough to say with Everton, really, but yeah, I still don't see McNeil going there, though. I think Burnley, they know realistically to stay up that if they sell Dwight McNeil, they lose pretty much all their creativity. Because I think it was that left-hand side of McNeil and Taylor, which pretty much kept them up last season. I think the rest of the team, was it like Jeff Hendrick, Matt Lowton on the other side? It's not as good, is it? It's just not as good. So, yeah, they're in trouble if they get rid of Dwight McNeil, but I don't think they will. And Burnley and Sean Dyche always find a way. They always find a way. It won't be pretty, but 15th, I reckon.
Yeah. Are we happy to stick Burnley in at 15th? Yeah. What about Damari Gray? What's your opinion? Because obviously he was at Leicester, right?
Yeah, mate. We signed him from Birmingham when, like, the year we won the league. So, like, in the January of that season. And to be fair, like, when he kicked, because he was obviously coming off the bench and stuff, and he started a couple games where Mahrez was like injured and whatever, and he looked all right for his age then. I can't remember how old he was at the time, maybe 19, 20, something like that, and he looked good, he looked promising, but he just never, I don't know, he just never cemented his his place in the team, even when Mahrez left. We're playing Mark Albrighton over Damari Gray, and I don't know, it's he'd make some good impact appearances off the bench, to be honest, every now and then. And then when you play him the next game, he was just dreadful. So
hasn't he got a what's the name problem? A bit of a off the field problem. So he's not the hardest worker. He's got a bit of a reputation, hasn't he, off the pitch?
I think he's a hard worker. It's just that when things don't go his way, he gets a bit, arsey, if I'm honest. I remember when there was a game where we played like an under 21 player or something instead of him when Albrighton was injured or something like this, and he went on Instagram after the game and put something like, I need to get these shackles off and all of this and, free me and all this. And it was just like, what are you doing, mate? You know what I mean? If you were good enough, you'd play. You'd play. Yeah. So, and this is a club who wants to, who kind of invests a lot of money in these young players and wants to kind of get the best out of them. And yeah, it just wasn't possible with him. So I think it was like 7 million we signed him for in 2016. And then we sold him to, was it Leverkusen for 3.5, I think it was, and now he's gone to Everton. So yeah, it's
for 1.5, I think, right?
Yeah. He was at Leverkusen for 6 months. He scored 1 goal, and that's it.
And that's in the Bundesliga. And we've seen Bundesliga defenders. If you're not performing in the Bundesliga, there's problems. Seriously. There's problems if you're not performing in the Bundesliga.
It just shows, though, doesn't it? Like 7, 3.5, 1.5. He's going for $500,000 to a championship team next season or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly how. Yeah, he must be now. Yeah.
Do you know what it is though?
25.
The thing is with Rafa, he's got a plan. Like, I know they are below expectations. I know they aren't. They've gone Ancelotti and James Rodriguez to Andros Townsend. But there is, we'll talk about Everton later. There is something about Rafa where I think he's got a plan. He'll get them organised and they'll do okay. But I feel a bit sorry for them because they thought they were going to go and compete for top 4. Now they're
Champions League, innit? Yeah, exactly. 12 months and it's like, we're definitely not there now anymore. Right, let's move it on then. So we've got Burnley in 15th. Who have we got in 14th?
Brighton.
Oh,
they've made some really good signings. And again, I probably need to do a bit of homework on them, but they've got some goal scorers in, which is their biggest problem. If they can get that sorted, I think they'll be fine. I just think the standard of the league is going to go up another notch this season. So I think they'll probably average out at 14th, which is a brilliant season for them, considering where they've been the past couple of times.
Ben White's a big loss, though. Ben White's a big loss for me to Arsenal.
Let me get these two lads' opinions on it, right? Because obviously we've got rose-tinted Ben White goggles on, right?
He's better than Varane.
What's really frustrating me, though, Oscar, right, is seeing Arsenal fans that have no clue. I ended up having a debate with some that were like, they put a list of 20 centre-backs in the Premier League that were better than Ben White, and they had Connor Cody, Tyrone Mings, like literally no hopes on this list. They're not no hopes, they're centre-backs in the Premier League, but Ben White, for me, is generational talent. I think he is that good. I do think he will be a great centre-back for England, be in that setup for years to come. And that's just my opinion anyway, but I wanted to hear from you two. Locks, talk to me about Arsenal and 50 million. Are you saying they're having the pants, and they're getting their asses slapped?
Well, yeah, they are getting their asses slapped. Not as much as Man United did for Maguire, but still, quite a little, quite a big arse slap there from them, to be fair. I'm happy though. I'm not really bothered because it's less money that they can spend on James Maddison. So I've been winding my good friend Egal up on Twitter about Ben White, and I'm calling Ben White.
To be fair.
Did you see his TikTok dance?
Oh no!
Have you not seen it, Corey?
Oh God.
No, send me the link. I'll watch it.
Oh, Will, don't worry.
I already can see what it is. I think I might have seen it for a brief second and gone, no, I'm all right.
Yeah, I've been calling Ben White trash and all that to him, but I don't mean it. It's just because it's Egal I was saying that. So yeah, it's I don't know. I think it's obviously definitely, they've definitely overpaid for him, but you can't really, in a couple of years' time, you might look back and say what a signing that was, and they might be looking to sell him on for 150 million. You don't know, so only time will tell. But I think, to be fair, that it's a quality player, so you've got to pay, especially for the English. You've got to pay that much.
Yeah, Corey, your thoughts on that, mate? The 50 million.
Yeah, I mean, look. I have this argument all the time with Chelsea fans because obviously the Declan thing is going on. He's worth what he is to Brighton. It's as simple as that. If you want to pay, you pay. It is a little bit overpriced, of course it is. But I think people are saying he's not even the best defender at Brighton. I actually really like him as a player. I thought he didn't put a foot wrong for England in the 2 friendlies. Every time I've seen him play, He's brilliant on the ball, steps into midfield, he's confident. It's a great signing. You have to pay over the odds for players like this because if Arsenal miss the boat, someone like Liverpool will come in and just nab him, and they'll be happy probably if I doubt Van Dijk will obviously retire soon. He's got a couple of years left in him, but they'll start to look at bringing him in. So no, I think it's a quality signing. Genuinely, take the price out of it as a player, it improves him. Yeah. So why not spend it?
Yeah, I agree. To be honest, I thought Liverpool would get him after we never got him in that first season from Brighton, and obviously they wanted upwards of 30 at that point. But I think obviously even getting a call up to the England squad just took that price up another notch. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And now he's playing at Arsenal. And this is what I'm saying about Arsenal fans. They're playing with Rob Holding and David Luiz, and they want to tell me that Ben White's not an improvement.
They have got some good nicknames already for him, though. Because you see now, tanned Ben White is now compared to when he was at Leeds. He's already been getting called, the Tawi Ramos. I think he's already been called Tawi Ramos. It's brilliant, that, isn't it?
Yeah. I just hope they don't break him, mate, because I think it's such a goldfish bowl at Arsenal because it is. Their fans have such a big impact on that football club as well. I think they genuinely can make or break players. I think. Are
you basically saying if he makes a mistake on his debut, that DT's just going to basically ruin his Arsenal career?
Well, they can.
It is true, though. It is true, though. It is true.
They can, man. Honestly, I've never known such a fractious fan base.
It's mad. It's mad, mate. It's a different level. They got to look at Arteta. That's the worry. If you're a Ben White fan, which of course you two are for his time at Leeds, if Arteta wants him to play a certain way and he makes mistakes or he's led into making mistakes, then all the pressure's on him. But you got to look at the manager, and the manager's the bigger problem at Arsenal. So I'm sure they all know that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the tapas Pulis, as our friend Lee Gunning likes to call him, doesn't he? Brighton in 14th then. So 13th, guys, who have we got?
I'm out. I said Southampton, so you've already put them in.
I said Brentford, so I think I'm out.
This is where I've got Palace, actually, because we've not put Palace anywhere, have we, yet?
No, I've got Wolves as well. So let's stick Palace in next.
I've got to concede Palace now.
Yeah, we've had Palace now. We've had Palace for a while mentioned, so we'll get Palace in there. But again, that for me is based on them sacking the manager and that. Because when I was doing my table, I was like, I've said Vieira's going to get sacked, but I've actually got Palace in 12th, so 12th, Wolves in 13th, and I'm like, that doesn't fit my narrative of Vieira being sacked. But then I was like, no, he gets sacked, and then they bring in someone else, and then it works.
Does Big Sam get it? Does Big Sam get it?
Sam probably, yeah. Or they'll turn back to Roy. Do you know what I mean? They'll go, Roy, come back, man.
Please, Roy.
That's Frank.
Pat Frank, yeah.
Oh, God, I'd love to see him fail there. I'd love to see him fail. Honestly.
John Terry. Oh, John Terry.
Oh.
Give it.
Why
John
do you
Terry.
think he's gone then? Do you think he's got a job in waiting?
Doesn't he want to go? Doesn't he want? Apparently, he said he wants to go and look at going to different countries and look at. I don't know what it's about really. I feel like Terry, as much as I dislike him as a person, he kind of just wants to do it right before he puts himself into that managerial hot seat because he knows.
Doesn't want to do a Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, like injuring your own player when you've only got about 10 outfield players left. Like one of them, I think, I don't know. I've got a feeling we'll end up seeing Terry very shortly, probably within the next year. And I wonder whether that Terry Lampard partnership comes back. I wonder whether we'll see that. Oh, disgusting.
Pass me the sick bucket. Pass me that sick bucket. Honestly.
Michael Ballack picking up the water bottles.
Oh, dear me. Ashley Cole will have a job there.
He's under 21. He's under 21 assistant manager now. So you actually never know whether them three could get together at some point. It's frightening.
Horrible. We've had a super chat come in from Solanum Linenham. I think that's how you say it. It's definitely not. My apologies. But thank you so much for your super chat. He says, thanks for getting the band back together. We all wanted to come together, man. I've missed the lads, to be honest. I enjoy this. It will be on a Thursday moving forward, though. I don't know if I mentioned that because we used to have it on Friday. It'll be on Thursday. P.S. Did I miss the Gallagher loan to Palace chat? We didn't. Oscar, just briefly on this. I'm quite annoyed that Conor Gallagher's chosen Crystal Palace. Now, a lot of Leeds fans didn't want the move anyway because it was a loan with no view to a permanent. But my thing is, no, Leeds fans didn't want another Ben White saga, which I get. And it's a lot of were improving their player, and then I get all that, but ultimately my head was Gallagher comes in, he's a perfect fit, he has a great season, and Leeds get into Europe maybe, right? Let's say. Then he served his purpose.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying? I don't get this, well, if it's not on a perm, what's the point kind of thing. But look, he's chosen Palace, and I think it's due to game time. I think that's where he's gone to Palace. But Oscar, what are your thoughts on it, mate?
I mean, yeah, bit gutting. But I'm not losing sleep over it. I think we can definitely... There's a lot of Conor Gallaghers out there. There's a lot of other options we can bring in, obviously similar players to Gallagher. And you've got to back order to find those replacements. I'm a bit more disappointed at Gallagher, to be honest, that he's had the opportunity to work with Marcelo Bielsa, and he chose the easy option, hasn't he, really, if we're being honest. He chose that option to go to Palace, where he knows he's going to start week in, week out, stay living in London. I don't know, it seems a bit... not too impressive, that, to me, in terms of mentality. And it's you've seen Ruben Loftus-Cheek, I think, went on loan to Palace. Has he really kicked on? I think his opportunity was there to work under Bielsa, really kick on in his career. He hasn't chosen to. And there you go. It's one of them things, isn't it? I mean, Joe Willock, straight away, is someone I'm saying I'd rather than Conor Gallagher. If he's not getting games at Arsenal, get him in. I mean, I know Newcastle want him as well, but there's better players out there than Conor Gallagher, as much as Conor Gallagher's a good player. So I'm not that heartbroken, to be honest, mate.
I don't know. I just thought it'd have been perfect for us. I'm a little bit. I thought it'd have been perfect for us. But it is what it is. Like you say, I do think, and I even, for the first time in my life, agreed with Rory Jennings. Because Rory, genuinely, Rory Jennings said you've got to question the mentality of the lad that he's chosen Palace over Leeds or Newcastle. I didn't get the Newcastle one, because why would you go there, Steve Bruce, Ashley, etc. But I do, honestly, and I know someone called me arrogant, and I've just looked on Twitter, and the Palace fans have found it now, so they're all quote tweeting it now. So I'm like, for God's sake. I just had a quick cheeky look, and it's like, read the replies to this. Da, 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 da. So it's like, but I do think if you give me as an option to go to Palace or to go, it's not even about it being Leeds United, it's about being Bielsa. You would go there. Look what he's done with Calvin Phillips. If I'm Conor Gallagher, I'm thinking, there's an opportunity he could do. Look what he's done with Ben White. People forget that as well. Ben White's just gone for 50 million. He was on loan at Peterborough before he came to Leeds, and now he's gone to Arsenal for 50 million. Calvin played, apart from Stones, more outfield minutes than any other English player in the tournament. It was amazing. And he was, there were Leeds fans that would have sold him when Bielsa came in. So it's true, though, Oscar. No, it's true.
See that comment from Nicholas Griffin? His mum cooks his dinner.
I don't know. Someone did reply as well saying, he can still live with his mum and dad or something. So maybe does he still live with his mum and dad at that?
I don't want to sound like Roy Keane here, but I don't want him. I don't want players like that at Leeds.
Imagine, yeah. We've had issues with players' mums before, haven't we, with Matt Grimes? So it's probably best. Right. So that's. I hope that answered your Conor Gallagher chat, mate. Thank you very much for the super chat, Solomon. Right, let's move it on then. So that was 13th, I believe. Yeah?
It was. Yeah.
So 12th. I got Palace in 12th. Has anyone got any different?
Wolves.
Right, okay. Well, we've already got... What about you, Locks?
Yes.
Wolves.
You've all got Wolves?
I think so.
Oh, nice. That's perfect then. Piss, that wasn't it? I've just got it right. Nice, that. That's nice. Moves us on. We're getting into the decent stuff now, right? 11th, top half. What have we got?
Everton.
Shell. I've got Villa.
This is where it turns now. This is where it turns.
Don't even think about it.
I have gone West Ham.
11. I knew he was going to. I had this feeling in the back of my head. He was putting things in the chat. I think he's put us 11. I know he's put us below top half. Go on then. Let's have it.
Purely for the reason. Nothing against Moyes. Nothing against the squad of players you got. It's just burnout, I think, is a concern in terms of obviously.
Don't start with that. Bielsa burnout. Is it? Is it Moyes burnout?
European football burnout.
But it's just a depth because you've got to go for it in Europe. You've got to go for it. Yeah, you're probably going to have quite a weak group. You've got to push to go out of that group stage. It's 6 extra games in the first half of the season. Then if you get into the knockouts, I might be totally wrong, but I fancy Moyes to go for it in the cups as well, possibly. I think he, had a couple of little cup runs with Everton. I think he's desperate for a trophy, isn't he, Moyes? That's been the one thing he's missing in his career so far. I just think 11th, and there's a bit of rumour as well around this end of the woods of Jared Bowen possibly going to Liverpool. Anything on that, Corey? About 35 mil, I think I've heard. But
no, nothing. If you're West Ham, nothing less than 50. He's going to be so.
For Jared Bowen.
With all due respect, guys, Ben White's gone up the road to Arsenal.
Oh, come on, it's Jared.
No, let's not do that.
You cannot compare Jared Bowen and Ben White.
It's important. No, look, I think with Bowen got a lot of stick actually from the Liverpool fans. I understand they're a bit disappointed because they want the big names. How he plays, he would fit into Liverpool system if I'm looking at a neutral point of view. From West Ham point of view, I think he goes to another level next season. There's a couple of players in our squad, even just from what I'm seeing in pre-season, look sharper. The way that they're playing offensively is much better. We're more clinical. There's a couple of players, Fornals, Benrahma, Bowen. I think they'll all step it up. So I think, again, we've got 17 outfield players, 18 with Areola coming in today. So he's going nowhere, mate, because we can't bring anyone in. But
with your board, if you get off the 35 mil for Bowen, you get driven there.
But this is the thing, Oscar. This is what people say. Like they talk about Declan and they say if they offer 60, they'll let him go. But that board know that if they let a player go for less than what the West Ham fans want him to go for, it's going to be hell at that stadium.
They don't care.
They will. They have to. If they're going to turn up to the stadium and they're getting coins thrown at them like they did against Burnley, then they're not going to like
Corey
it.
At the front line.
Did you? Yeah, you launched from there. You
saved them up, hasn't he? Goes to 2-piece slot machines before game, and then he's like,
It's gonna. Do you know what? It's gonna be interesting because there is talk of a takeover, but from an investment firm. So. I'm interested to gauge obviously the opinion is get the board out, but how that will influence things if people know that there can be a takeover on the cards. And apparently they're saying now that Declan's more certain to stay at the club because if someone does take over, they want players like Declan. So back to Jared Bowen, I just hope you don't go, mate. Honestly, that'd be horrible to watch. But you do a good job for Liverpool, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. Actually, I think as a backup option for like Salah and Mane, it's not bad, is it?
No,
yeah.
This is what, because that annoyed me as well. Like when I seen the amount of Liverpool fans discrediting Jared Bowen it's just because it's Jared Bowen and Ben White. Like they can't see past that, these top 6 club fans, because he's not from the continent and they've not paid X amount. Do you know what I mean? It is really frustrating because I really rate Jared Bowen, man. He was a one-man team when he was at Hull City, and then obviously he's done well, of course, for West Ham as well. So in 11th then, I had Villa. Oscar, you had West Ham. Corey, who was your pick?
Everton,
right. Can anyone remember who's Lopes?
Did Lopes go Everton?
I don't know. He might have gone Wolves. I don't know.
No, he went Wolves 12.
We'll ask him now. He's back. Let's have a look.
Is he back?
Sorry, mate.
Lopes. It's all right, mate. Some things never change, as I say. Who's in 11 for you?
It is Brentford.
Oh,
Brentford.
Whoa!
Mate, I like him. Yeah, I like him. I like Brentford. Yeah. I don't know. I've always liked watching Brentford. To be fair, I mean the players that they've sold as well, and still, I know they missed out on the Premier League. Was it the season before last? They should have gone up, but they're finally up there, and I think they're going to make the most of it. I mean, I don't think they're going to quite do a Leeds United, but I think they'll do well. To be fair, I really like obviously Tony. I mean, that's a player which Leicester fans, fans from all over the Premier League have been wanting their club to sign. He's a brilliant striker, and I can't pronounce his name. Is it Muembo? Muembo, is it? I don't know.
Brian Mbuemo, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Was it him who scored that screamer against United yesterday? Was it?
Not sure. I didn't see
Did you
it,
see
no.
it? You not seen it?
Didn't see it.
Scored a screamer, mate. But yeah, they've got a good squad, and like I said, Pontus Jansson. I don't know if he'll be the starting centre back, but I think they'll do well. And
he's going to get tortured by the likes of Salah and that. He's going to be mad, isn't it? Janssen,
Pinnock as well.
Yeah.
I think they'll be the surprise, the wild card, if you like, for this season. That's my underdog. So yeah, 11th place for Brentford, and I'm sure that's not going on your table.
No, because we've already got them, haven't we? We've already got them in there, mate. So Locks, will let you be the deciding factor. Then I've gone Villa.
Yeah.
Oscar's gone West Ham, and Corey's gone Everton.
For 11th, I'm going to go West Ham.
Oh,
he's done you dirty, bro.
Everton. You think Everton are better than West Ham?
He's done you dirty.
Clearly are, mate. They clearly
No,
this will not be forgotten.
Andros Townsend, Jared Bowen. It's not up for debate,
it's
mate.
Tough, it's tough. It's close. It's close. Tom Davies, Declan Rice. I don't know. Maybe.
I don't think Everton are better than West Ham though, because I had Everton a bit earlier on, so I had them in 12th. So, but yeah, West Ham. I'm going to say to end the argument.
Good stuff.
Sorry.
Right, top 10. I've got Everton in 10th.
Yeah.
Oh God, even worse. Villa. I've gone for.
Villa.
I've gone Villa.
Okay, Oscar. You've gone
Everton.
Okay. How do we decide this? Well, whoever gets Everton or Villa in chat first of all, put it in and we'll make that decision. Whoever put Aston Villa 10th.
Aston Villa 10th.
There we go. Ethan's gone it. We've got Villa in 10th. What do you reckon to their business, lads? And apparently they're going to get Leon Bailey as well, aren't they? They've spent some money.
I don't know what they're doing. I don't know how they're doing it, mate. Honestly, they're spending so much money. I mean, they were close to getting Smith Rowe as well, weren't they? So at one point, I mean, that would have been a brilliant sign. But Buendia, I think, is a great signing for them. I mean, he was quality for Norwich, in a poor Norwich team in the Premier League as well. So I think, I think they'll do well. Obviously, 10th. I think 10th's all right for them. I think they'll take it. It's a bit mediocre, but I'm sure they'll take it. So.
What happens if they lose Super Jackie Grealish?
Do you not think they've already spent that money though? They're already spending it.
I thought that ages ago. The minute they started smashing on Buendia, people were saying, Buendia, Jack Grealish. I was like, nah, come on, man. It's never going to happen. I mean, it'd be class for them, to be fair. It'd be great to see, but I mean...
They've offered him a new deal on that, but that's just par for the course, isn't it? I mean, City will just triple that. What will they pay? They'll have to pay 100 mil or something, right?
100 mil,
I think, I mean,
that's what I think might not happen. I'm not sure if they'll pay 100 mil. I know it's City we're talking about, but I'm still not convinced it's going to go through. I'm still not convinced.
Really? They reckon it's close to going through. They reckon. I mean, personal terms obviously probably will be agreed. It will just be that fee.
So
Kane's more unlikely not to happen if Grealish goes through in the next. That's the only thing. I think it'll be one or the other. I can't see it being both.
And I think they'll pick Kane.
I think they need Kane more than Grealish.
Should pick Kane. I love Grealish.
I think Kane's the bigger priority in terms of what they've just lost. Probably, arguably, the best Premier League striker of all time in Aguero, and they're not going to bring in a striker. That just seems crazy to me. I think Kane's got to go to City if they can get that done. But Villa, I actually think will do well. I'm thinking Villa are 8th. Controversial,
really?
But if they get Leon Bailey, I tell you what, that forward line, Buendia, Bailey, Watkins, with a couple of other players in behind and that lot, and some good depth, I think Villa will do pretty well. To be honest,
we've got them 10th in our league, mate.
I'm happy at that. They can stay 10th.
Yeah. 9th, I've gone West Ham. West Ham, obviously, mate. But they're already in 11th in ours. Who've you got in 9th?
Leeds.
Really? Oscar, what are you doing, you dick?
Live isn't bad, is it?
I'm joking. For this purposes, I've gone higher. But as long as we get top 10 again, I'm happy, mate. I am happy.
But look, there's still 2.5 weeks left to go to the window. I mean, all our predictions will probably be different by the time different things happen. But at this moment in time, as things stand, I'll go 9th. But I think we'll do some other business as well, to be fair. 9th. Oh, dear me, I'm getting sticky. I'm getting stick.
Locks?
Well, it's a bit awkward because I made the decision on, was it 11th? I've got West Ham in 9th.
Right, okay.
But obviously I had to pick between your picks.
Yeah, true. Fair. Corey?
Yeah, West Ham. Of course.
You got West Ham in there, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So you were moaning at me, and you've only gone 2 places higher. After all that, you've gone like 2 places
There's
higher.
a big difference between like bottom half and top half. As long as West Ham creep into top half, I'm sweet. But it's when they get into the 11th, I'm like, nah, not for me.
So based on the fact that we that we've all gone West Ham, that only leaves one, which means Leeds in this predictor are gonna have to go 9th. Which
No, don't have to. Don't have to at all. No one else has gone Leeds yet.
yeah, but we've
Has
all
Everton
gone West
been
Ham.
picked?
We've all gone West Ham.
Where was Everton? Was it 11th in the end? Or was it?
Oh no, we haven't got Everton.
Oh no,
in
West
there.
Ham were 11th. Sorry. No, so.
Switch them, I reckon. West Ham
Yeah?
and Everton. Yeah, West Ham and Everton.
Yeah.
Okay, right, okay. So
There we go. There we go.
yeah.
We're all happy.
So I'll put an E on end of it. West Ham. Right. Okay. So we've got West. Right. So it's West Ham, Villa, Everton. Yeah.
Yeah.
West Ham, Villa, Everton. Right. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm having a hard time. So we got 8. Right. So who's in 8th then?
Leeds. I've gone Leeds United for this one.
I've
I've
gone
gone Spurs.
I've gone Spurs. I've gone Spurs.
I think Spurs will have a shocker this season. And I think they'll get... I think Kane goes. I think Kane wants to go. He probably might not. He might go in January, maybe. I don't know. But you can't go... For me, you've gone from Pochettino, right, to Mourinho. And then you've gone for a BTEC Mourinho.
They've got to, mate. No one wanted to come. They asked about
This is the thing, innit?
They tried. They're best.
He wasn't first choice for the job. He wasn't second choice. He wasn't third choice. He was 25th choice, if I can make it.
Yeah.
For those obvious who know. He must feel good.
I know, yeah. Like, what's this business? They just signed a goalkeeper, right? I wonder
Yeah,
if Matt's
Galini.
still- Yeah,
Galini,
yeah.
decent. He's all right, actually, Galini,
Yeah.
from Atalanta.
But they've
Better
still
than,
got...
better than Lloris. I can
Will he take the
categorically say
number
that.
1 spot?
Yeah, I
the
think
aim?
so. I think so.
Really?
And have they signed that Jill, whatever his name is?
Again, I quite like him, Brian Gill. Yeah, he's a decent little player. Again, he's not replaced. You can't replace Kane. I think I've gone 1 place higher for Spurs, but I'm happy to concede Spurs here.
Corey,
yeah.
who have you got?
I'll put Leeds.
Yeah.
You don't reckon they'll finish higher by the sounds of it? So
Yeah, of course.
listen, I'm more than happy to have Tottenham. For
Top
the
4, top 4. Come on.
Yeah, move. Right, okay, let's get Spurs in there. I do think they will have a shocker. I do. Right.
Do they win the conference though? Do they win that Europa Conference? Imagine if they bottle that though, the Europa Conference.
They are.
Have you seen some of the stadiums? There's a train track between the stand and the pitch at one of the stadiums. Have you seen it?
No.
You've not seen it? No.
No.
There's literally, honestly, there's a train track between the stand and the pitch. I'm not messing. I'm not
Imagine
messing.
that train coming through while you're playing. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Bobby 199 super chat says Corey thinks we'll finish above West Ham. Yeah, you're doing your prediction, don't you?
I do, yeah. I think you'll be fresh. I think. Look, I'm interested to see this Bielsa project, to be honest, because you just seem to improve year on year. And I know I've kind of tried to play it up a little bit, but I do think Europa League will catch up with us at some point. Definitely, there will be a burnout. But I do think even if West Ham do dip through the season 12th, 13th, I think the quality of the squad, hopefully with the signings will come back up. But no, I don't think it'll be above you. I think you'll have a really good season.
Same, mate. Same. Thank you very much for that. It's music to my ears, that, mate. It's music to my ears. Right, seventh. I have gone Leeds now, right? I have gone Leeds in 7th.
So negative, Joe. So negative.
I have gone Leeds in 7th. Any advances on that?
I've got Leeds.
What?
I've got Leeds in 7th,
You've got
mate.
7th, yeah.
I had the Gooners, Arsenal in 7th. But
Gooners.
Yeah, do you not think they'll finish higher then, by the sounds of it?
I've got them 1 place higher, mate. I've got them
Same.
1 place higher.
Okay,
Yeah, we've got the same, Joe.
Yeah.
We've got the same.
Yeah. Like you, Oscar, who have you had in 7th?
I had Spurs. So
Right,
we've got to
okay.
go Leeds here. We've got to
Got to go
Leeds here.
Leeds, haven't we? Gets us into Europa Conference, doesn't it? So we'll take it from there, I guess. Right, 6th then. I've gone Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Yeah.
I had Tottenham. But yeah,
Yeah.
Arsenal's a
Leicester. Leicester, I've gone.
Ooh, what do you make to that? What do you make to that, Locks?
Where's this? This is 6th, right? Yeah, I mean I can't complain.
Yeah, 6th.
I've got Leicester and fit, one place higher, so I can't really complain. 6th. I mean, I'd love 4th. I'd love top 4 this season. 3rd time lucky, but I just can't quite see it. I think we'll just miss out, and then we're going to lose Yuri Tillemans next season because of it. So, but anyway, we got another year.
So what's happening with him, mate? Because I thought you were going to go to Liverpool and replace him with Alden. Is he staying?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, he's back from his post Euros holiday now. He's back in training. The talk obviously has been Liverpool throughout the whole window. But I just, Liverpool aren't going to pay 80 million quid for Yuri Tillemans, and that's what we're going to, we're not going to sell him for anything less than that. From what I've heard on the grapevine, there is a agreement where if Leicester don't make top 4 next season, then Tillemans can go for a lower fee. So I don't know if that's going to be in his contract, a release clause. If we don't, I'm not sure how it works. Or it's just.
So are you telling us, Locks, that Tillemans is going to Liverpool next season? Then is that what you're basically saying there?
Maybe not Liverpool. Because they might. Are they still looking at Saul? Are they still looking at Saul to get in? I don't
Liverpool
know.
ain't got a pot to piss in by sounds of it. I think it's mad, me. They won Premier League 2 seasons ago, and now
Champions League.
It's mad. Like their ownership's mental because they could have dominated.
I find it amazing though. Yeah, I find it mad though. Like, if Yuri Tillemans was an Englishman, like I think teams would just go, here you go, here's 80 million, here it is, here's the cash. But because it's a Belgian player, for whatever reason, they won't do it. But I think next season he's definitely going to go. I don't see us getting top 4 this year. But I've been begging. I've been begging all summer just for him to stay one more year, and I'll take it. One more year. I'm happy with that, and we'll see what we go from there. But yeah, 5th place. So are we still on 6th? Yeah, 6th.
Let's.
I think Leicester's problem for me. I'm happy to go 5th, but I think the problem Leicester have got is if Maddison goes, you're strengthening the rival in Arsenal. I think he's exactly what I think Arsenal needs, and I'm kind of thinking. Obviously, you will look to replace Maddison. I like the Daka signing, Zumari. I like those signings, but. If Maddison goes, I'm thinking, where's the creativity coming from? That's my only worry with Leicester if they lost him.
Yeah, it's a weird one because we've been looking at attacking midfielders and we've been looking at wingers. I mean, we were looking at Dan James. We were looking
He's ours.
Yeah.
We've been looking at Berardi as well. There's some talk on Berardi actually, a bit more. I think.
Gaetano.
No, absolutely not. No, Domenico Berardi. And
you can't get an Italy's team, mate. You can't even get an Italy team.
And Pereira from West Brom, we've been looking at as well. So
that's a shout. I tell you what,
mate. Don't worry about
it. That's a shout. That you lose Maddison, you get Pereira. Actually, to be fair, when you say it like that, that's quite a good bit of business. That.
I've got a feeling he's going to stay, though. I think I've got a feeling Maddison's going to be, and it will be the first season that Leicester have kept everyone. We've sold someone, for a big price every year since we won the league. It was, Kante, Drinkwater, Mahrez, Maguire, Chilwell. Yeah, Drinkwater was 35 million to Chelsea, man, and he's played like 20 games. So yeah, we've sold someone every year. Brought in a load of cash, but this year it doesn't look like it. I think we'll keep hold of Maddison and Tillemans, but I think really the problem is next season, next summer, because we could have a few leaving. I think, and that if we don't get top 4, that could cause some problems.
Quick question, Locks, because I just remember your little rant last season. Who do you dislike more out of Ben Chilwell and Riyad Mahrez? You weren't a fan of either, from what I can remember last season. You did go on. I think Ben Chilwell seemed a little bit less popular out the two.
Yeah, Ben Chilwell. I hate him with a passion.
I couldn't watch that FA Cup final without thinking, hang on, he's going to score and Locks is going to lose his head. He's going to absolutely lose his head.
Honestly.
You know what? I'm so glad though. The way it turned out, mate. Honestly, him celebrating with the badge like this after 9 months at Chelsea, after being at Leicester for 12 years. Like, what a knobhead. You know what I mean? And then it's ruled out for VAR, and mate, it was inject it, mate, inject it. But yeah, it was.
Am I right in saying Riyad Mahrez rejected you for a picture or something as well? He was going to have a picture with him.
Mahrez had a picture of me. He was just the mardiest guy I've ever come across. He was just like, he didn't want to be there. So, and that was before he was famous. That was before we won the league as well. So that was when everyone thought he was a kebab shop. You know what I mean? So it was that was actually that was a joke. Don't worry, in Leicester. But it was. I think it's chill.
He literally won you the league, and you're slandering him. He literally won you the league, man.
He went on strike for 2 weeks.
He won you the league. Leicester's history, Riyad Mahrez, we won PFA Player of the Year and won you the league. Mate. He could do anything. Like if someone won Leeds United the Premier League, they could do absolutely anything. Honestly, and I would still love them.
Jamie Vardy.
Shocking locks. Shocking.
Jamie Vardy. But listen, that's what it is. You have to sell someone, right? Do you think? So if you don't obviously get rid of Maddison, then maybe you're in that position now where you're sustainable as one of them top elite clubs. Do you know what I mean? Because Leeds United have already come out and said, we want to follow the Leicester model. If we don't get Europe this season, which we probably won't, it's going to be tough. I'm not going to lie. I think people need to temper their expectations. I think a lot of people just assume that we're going to progress year on year on year, but it doesn't happen like that. We have to, consolidate a little bit. But if we don't get Europe and Rafinha has another amazing season, he will leave. Meslier will leave. Calvin Phillips.
KP.
Yeah, people hate me for saying it though, right, Oscar? But I'm telling you now, you can't tell me who had such a good Euros. Bielsa was saying he's one of the best in his position in world football right now. He likened him to Simeone, Midel, all these players that he's managed before. And if we don't get Europe, Calvin, I think will be longer than, say, Rafinha, who might be in 1 or 2 seasons. But you can't tell me if he continues performing that way and City come knocking and say, we're going to triple your wages and Leeds United is, 70, 80, 90 million. They're not going to go, he's a Leeds lad. He'll stay. It doesn't work like that,
No.
So I think we have to get into that mindset that we're a bit like that, Locks, But
yeah, it's just inevitable, isn't it? If you don't, if you don't meet the players' expectations, you talk about fan expectations, but the players like Rafinha, it doesn't matter if it's Rafinha, Tielemans, Maddison, Meslier, whatever. They're destined to play at the top, and they will play at the top one way or another, whether it's with our clubs or whether it's with a top club. It's going to happen one day. So you want to hope that it's with your club, but that's the issue.
The big thing as well for me with Leicester and Leeds is in terms of Bielsa and Rodgers is, in terms of obviously Rodgers is obviously a lot younger than Bielsa, but it's more, I think with Rodgers, it's more, does he go to another club? Does he move to possibly an Arsenal if they sack if Arteta early in the season? I don't think he would, but if a job like that came available, even Scum, someone like that, who knows, that could come available. That's the worry for me for Leicester. I think obviously Rodgers is been a big part of that project. I know obviously the recruitment's good, but you've had some shocking managers since, obviously before Rodgers, obviously Puel, Craig Shakespeare had it. You can't take that for granted. Same with Leeds. I think you've got to look at that and say, we can't take the managers for granted in this whole kind of operation. As well as run as both clubs are, the managers are the glue in both operations. So, who knows? This might be Bielsa's last season at Leeds. You can't take Bielsa for granted. But that's the thing. You can't take it for granted.
You can't, mate, right.
That's the thing. We drew 1-1 with Blackburn yesterday. I still enjoyed large spells of the game because of Bielsa ball. You can't take any of it. Enjoy every minute. Every minute for me. That's the big thing. I'd say for both clubs.
Definitely. Christopher Junction super chat says, Joe, put the happy hat on and say Leeds in Europe. Listen, I do think there is a possibility we might get into Europe, but I was having a conversation with a guy on Twitter who mentioned Conor Gallagher, and he said to me, we cannot be approving our direct rivals players. And I said, just step back a sec. I said, Chelsea have just won a Champions League. We finished 9th. We're not in that. No, but we will be in 2 seasons. No, we won't. What was that?
Sorry, I was going to burp, mate. Sorry.
But it's like in 2 seasons, we're not going to be competing with a team that won a Champions League. It's just not going to happen. Like, I get people are saying we're going to go from strength to strength, but by that, if we improve season on season, you're saying in 3 seasons' time we're going to win the league, and we're not.
The mad thing is that you're having these expectations and you've literally just got promoted last season. Like, that's how crazy, and everyone just forgets about it because of how well you play and the results you get. It's unreal. It's unprecedented. No team's come up and had that kind of impact. Maybe Wolves are the only one that's done it. So,
but Wolves, exactly. The thing is, Corey, you saw Wolves completely dropping like a stone last season. The thing is, and I don't think anyone would have said Wolves were a poorly run club before last season. And all of a sudden, Jimenez gets injured. Nuno obviously starts to fall out with 1 or 2 players, and it looks like a bit of a mess. And it still looks like a mess now at Wolves. Things can change very quickly in football. Don't get carried away. Yeah, that's what I say.
And that's all I'm saying. Like, people are saying, no, you need to do. Look, as long as we get top half, that is an amazing season second time around, man. Trust me, it's an amazing season. And I keep saying this because I feel like I have a duty, not that I have much impact, but just to temper expectations a bit. Because the last thing I want is Leeds fans expecting Europe. We not get off to a good start, and then you'll get small sections going, we need a new gaffer. He's like, no. Let's not go there. Do you know what I mean?
Does it get like that? Do people like, does it ever get to a point with Leeds where if it gets
not
like,
yet.
It did a bit that promotion season. I remember what game was it? That Forest away game when Forest won the league. There was a couple of people who were saying, "Oh, Bielsa's messed it up again." Yeah. But if you remember that, Joe, at that point, it was very much kind of like, I'm not saying it's 50-50 among the fan base, but the vocal minority got very vocal that weekend. To be fair, did get very vocal, but no, it's not like turned into. I just can't.
He's the best thing since sliced bread, man. He's the best thing since sliced bread. Like,
it's a bit like Wilder at Sheffield United in terms of like they would like had 0 points after 20 games. Absolutely no one from Sheffield United was saying Wilder out, and I think it'd be the same with Bielsa. Even if things got off to a bad start, it would take a lot for anything like that to happen, and so it should. Bielsa's got enough credit in the bank to deserve that. So
he could have 10 rubbish seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
In the bank. Because he's just given me the best football I've ever seen in my life and ever are likely to see again. This is what people need to realise. And I've got a tattoo of him on my leg, so if he'd left, it'd be a bit dodgy. Do you know, like if he went somewhere else to a horrible club that I dislike, that'd be horrible, wouldn't it? I have to get it covered up. Right, okay. 6th. We went round the houses there, but 6th Arsenal. Are we going 5th Leicester?
Yeah.
Happy with that. Good stuff. Right, here comes the big stuff. There'll be a lot of Leeds fans in the chat will be fuming. We're not in this conversation, but it is top 4 time. Who's your top 4 then? Let's go 4th. Who's in there, lads?
Chelsea.
Man United.
Really? Who have you got, Corey?
Man United.
Locks?
Liverpool.
See, I've got Man United as well. I've got Man
Only
United.
problem.
Chelsea are going to push City, man. Chelsea will push City.
The problem for me with Chelsea, it depends what they do. If they get a Lukaku or a Haaland in, then maybe. But I just look at the firepower of Chelsea a little bit and think Werner, Mount, Havertz, all good players. But if they've got the goals, have they got the goals to push a City? They'll be close. They'll be there and thereabouts. But I think everything else about them's good. But I don't know. I just that's the only thing with Chelsea for me. I think Tuchel obviously has proven himself. But we all know what happens at Chelsea. What's the longevity of Chelsea managers? It wouldn't surprise anyone if that goes wrong quickly at Chelsea. It does just tend to turn really quickly at Chelsea, and there's no loyalty with Abramovich. But yeah, I just don't think they've got that 20, 25 goal a season man at this moment in time at Chelsea.
I think Timo will find his form. I think Timo will start scoring. I think that's what I mean.
But
I won't say, we'll get to that, won't we? Where I've got Chelsea, but yeah.
Finding Timo.
Someone's got to find him. He spent 50 mil. You should try and find him.
I was convinced he was going to be the one that came up trumps for Germany. I just had this horrible feeling that we battered him for so long all season, and in the Euros he was going to come up trumps, but obviously he never, which was good. But
how did Thomas Muller miss that, by the way?
Oh,
just totally off topic. How did he miss that?
It was great. It was great, man. Manchester United, though, done great business, made some great signings, will win a lot of games. But Ole Gunnar, listen, no disrespect, I could put a side out with the talent that Manchester United have, and I would win some games. I think their manager is their problem. The fact that he got a 3-year deal is a madness. I do not understand it. I won't lie to you. I watched a few of their fan reaction videos in response to him getting the 3-year deal, because I knew some of them would be in meltdown, and they were, I guess it's what did someone say? Where giving props to him for failure, because he'd been in a final, he'd been in 4 semi-finals, not won anything, and we've gave him they'd give him a 3-year deal, and I was just laughing watching the video, thinking this is brilliant. Like, what do you make to it, guys? A 3-year deal for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer? Does he deserve that?
No.
I'm enjoying it, man. Let it continue.
Yeah, same. That's what I mean.
It's
crazy.
It's nuts, man. I watched that Europa League final, and I've got a mate that's a United fan. I said, honestly, how you watch this? How you can turn up to Europa League final and play like that? And I think I saw some other United fan cams, and they were saying, well, it's just penalties. Are you having a laugh? Are you actually serious? Like, that squad was good enough to win that. And he's been in multiple positions where he's good enough. Now, the big thing this season is the pressure will actually be on him. Because when you sign Varane, you play that line a bit high. They've got a brilliant back four now. Fair play to him. Yeah. Sancho is a world-class player. It'll be interesting to see how he adapts. If they go and get a defensive midfielder, they go 4-3-3. They've got to be competing for the title for me. It's as simple as that. There's no excuse for it. And it's all on Ollie. And he'll get exposed. They should just go. If they had any sense, they would go and get Conte in now with that team. Yeah. And then they go, there you go, have that. And win. And
then that'd be like, they could win the league. Like, I know Oscar thinks they'll be up there anyway, but I just think with him in charge, they've got no chance.
I just think the difference is, I think Varane's obviously it's a massive upgrade on Lindelof. Obviously Sancho's, they've actually got a winger now in terms of Sancho. But I think the interesting one for me is what they do with Pogba. I mean, you can't look at what Pogba did in that Euros and not think to yourself, we've got to find a way of getting him into that team. He just plays in his proper position for France. Don't get me wrong, I love it how badly they have managed Paul Pogba over the last 5 years and continue to get it wrong, so badly wrong with Pogba. But be interested in what happens. There's obviously been talk of Saul going to there as well, possibly from Atletico, if they get a midfielder as well.
Pogba one's gone though, doesn't he? Again.
Yeah. Again, but that's all you need. As soon as they do well or start pushing up the table, you just need Mino Raiola just get him warmed up, get him warmed up, and upset that apple cart every time. Absolute legend of a man. Every time he does it, they were top of the table in January. Raiola turns up.
Oh mate,
and they're gone again. They're gone again. Yeah. Solskjaer daren't say anything because when Mourinho when Mourinho took on Raiola and the Man United boards, he lost his job. He lost the dressing room. I think they'll push. But they'll still just fall short. So 3rd or 4th, something like that.
I'm convinced that Alex Ferguson is still sort of running the show when Ollie's in charge.
Yeah,
I do.
I mean, Sancho.
I think he goes to him for everything. I can just imagine it.
Sancho and Varane are very, very kind of Ferguson-like signings, especially Varane, a little bit more into his peak. Ferguson wouldn't go for like a Wan-Bissaka in his early 20s. He wants ready-made players. The person Ferguson would have signed and wouldn't have allowed to even train for Tottenham is Harry Kane. Yeah. There is no way Ferguson would not have not signed Harry Kane. There's no doubt about it. You've seen him do it with Van Persie, Cantona, Rooney, all these players. He always signs that kind of calibre of player. He would have got Kane through the door. Yeah. But thankfully, he's going to City. So that would have been the problem if Kane had gone there as well.
Right. I think based on the fact me and Corey had Man United 4th, and they've got the worst manager out of the top 4.
Do it.
Let's put Manchester United in.
Do it.
Manchester United in 4th. There we go. I did. Do you know when? This will come back to bite me as well. Someone did a thread of bold predictions for the season. And I remember putting mine in as Manchester United won't get the top 4 and Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will still be in a job. And I still think I'm going to get battered for that at some point, I think. Do you know what I mean? One of them, a bit like I have done with the Vieira.
It's great. It's great that we play in first day of the season, isn't it? That's good timing.
No, but Oscar, I see that as a positive because I think there'll be Varane, Justin, Sancho, Justin, Leeds United are such a unit, cohesive that I don't know. I think we'll be all right, and they've got a few players out as well, haven't they? I think they're a bit. I think we beat them on the opening day 2-1, but that's just my thoughts. Right, let's go for 3rd. I've got Liverpool.
I had United, so
okay. Manchester United, mate.
I was the same.
I've gone Chelsea.
Chelsea, and you've got Manchester United as well. Oscar.
Yeah.
Okay. So I had Liverpool. Corey's gone Chelsea. What are we going with? Let's go with the comments here. First one in.
Liverpool.
Let's have a look. Oh, and that was after the fact. Who's getting 3rd? No, we don't. We've already got 4th, Lee. We need go Chelsea, right? Tom's saying Chelsea. I think that's a madness, because I think Chelsea are going to push.
It's the striker thing, mate. For me, Oscar hit on the nail. Yeah, I think it genuinely is that. I think it's weird that they haven't really. I know there's always whisperings about Lukaku, but seriously, for 90 million, I would go out and get him if they've got that money. Yeah. They're going to sell Tammy to us probably. They're going to get rid of Zuma. I've heard as well. They've got the money. Get him in. He was muscle.
Zuma's going to you, isn't he?
Apparently, yeah. He's been linked today. That's a bit of a mad one. I'd take.
If they got Lukaku, I genuinely think they win the league. To be honest, I think in terms of the way they play, like a counter-attacking striker like Lukaku, the way they defend that second part of the season, they've already got City's number in those kind of fit those. That's all they're missing, but I think it's a big thing to miss. You're talking Lukaku, 20, 25 goal a season man, down to kind of like Havertz and Werner, who are kind of like 10, 15 goals. It's a big drop-off. So 3rd for me.
Do you think they can get Haaland? Because they have been definitely.
Oh, please no! Please,
they've been trying to make moves,
no.
Haven't they?
No, just no.
I don't think they'll spend that money. That's obscene.
That'd be horrible if
they did, fair play. I think they are probably bang on to win the league with Haaland. He's obviously that good, and they create chances. Chelsea. It's not like they're not creative. It's just they don't have the finisher. Haaland's a game changer, mate. And it'd be really interesting to see if Kane went to City and Haaland went to Chelsea, what that would look like. I mean, I'd be terrified going up against both of them. But for a league perspective,
imagine Janssen in that against Haaland. Pontus against Haaland.
What did you ever? I don't know if you guys have seen it. Have you seen him at Borussia Dortmund training? And he's just finished, and the people are getting autographs off him, and he's sat in his car with Leeds United shorts.
I ain't seen that.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's fucking brilliant, and I just think, yes, I absolutely love you. Like, I'd love him to become a Leeds. Like, imagine we were in a position, Oscar, to actually put up that money. It'd be a no-brainer. He would sign. Do you know what I mean?
I still think we should sign his cousin. His cousin's going cheap. Yeah. His cousin's supposed to be a real player as well, striker as well. I think just go for it. They got the genes. They got the Haaland genes. Just go for it. Little
rubbish though.
No, that is slander. That, mate.
Let's not compare him to his son.
They're
though.
different players, but all
Yeah.
right, jeez, all right, calm down. Right, sign Haaland's cousin. Sign Haaland's cousin.
Yeah, is that your pick? Your pick.
Yeah, that's my take from all this.
Sign Haaland's cousin. So because of the no striker, if that changes obviously in a couple of weeks' time, then I guess you'd move Chelsea up the table. But we'll go Chelsea in third. So who are we going? I'm assuming we all think City are going to win the league.
Yeah.
As it stands.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Liverpool then. We've all gone for Liverpool in second now that we've worked that out.
I haven't.
What do you went Chelsea, right?
Yeah. I had Liverpool in fourth, but yeah.
Oh shit! Yeah, my bad. I had Chelsea in second, to be fair, but I'm just thinking about this table. But what do we make to Liverpool? Because, like I said earlier, and I do think it is a madness, me personally, that they've won a Champions League, they've won the Premier League. There was the opportunity for them there to dominate for a little period of time, and just I think it shows the poor. Like when Van Dijk, Gomez, and all these players got injured, and they went and bought Ben Davies from Preston North End and all this sort of stuff. You're just thinking, that's not happening in any other top four club. They're not going to Preston North End for a defender that they've not played and will just farm out. It just was crazy. Like, I don't know. If I'm a Liverpool fan, I get why there's so much. Why haven't they signed anyone? Like, obviously, they've signed Canate now. I think he's a real good signing, and hopefully take on the mantle of VVD in a couple of years' time, maybe. He has that stature about him. But it's like when they've got Shaqiri, still these players, man. I don't know. What are your thoughts on Liverpool, guys?
Chamberlain's still there, isn't he? Oxlade-Chamberlain. Like, I saw a thing on the. Is this going to be Oxlade-Chamberlain's comeback season? Is this going to be Keita's comeback season? You're thinking, what other club would give people like Naby Keita? I'm not saying the bad players like Keita, Chamberlain, but what other club is giving them like 3 or 4 seasons just to get into the first team kind of thing? Neither are kind of established first teamers. I mean, I still look at Liverpool and think their starting 11 is arguably the strongest. I'd probably say it's arguably the strongest in the league. You got Alexander-Arnold, you got Robertson, Van Dijk, Canate or Gomez, you got Alisson Becker in goal, then you got Fabinho, Henderson, Thiago, and then we all know about that front three. But the problem they've got is the depth. You can't rely on Jordan Henderson to play a full season. Thiago's injury prone. Mane, Salah, Firmino are all pushing into their 30s. There's only really Diogo Jota in reserve. I still think you've got Klopp. You've seen the fact they finished third with basically Nat Phillips and Reece Williams for pretty much the whole season at centre-back. That is... Yeah. Let's not beat around the bush. That is a pretty decent achievement considering everything that happens injury-wise last season. That's a pretty decent achievement. So I can't see him not kicking on, but it's the depth problem. It is that depth problem. And they're so reliant on that front three for goals. And that's the issue for them. But I think the likes of Alexander-Arnold, Thiago, Van Dijk, especially Alexander-Arnold and Thiago, they'll surely kick on next season. They won't be as disappointing as what they were last season. I think certainly towards the end of the season, I think they both kind of came into their own. Salah is just a machine. Salah's is the type of player, the way he is in terms of mentality and that lot, he's going to go into his mid-30s. There's no doubt about that. He's he's going to get you 20 goals a season. You can bank on him, to be fair. So I think second, but it'll be close. It'll be closer than last season. It might even go to the last couple of weeks of the season. Yeah, but they're not stopping City for me at this moment in time.
No, Corey, what do you think to Thiago?
I'm really disappointed when he came into Liverpool because of the performance level. Because I was such a massive fan of Thiago. I think he's a Rolls Royce of a player at times. But I think Oscar touched on it. It's the injuries. It's the injuries to the centre backs as well changed what I think Liverpool wanted to do with Thiago. They wanted to use him to break down teams when they had possession. And all of a sudden, they started experimenting with him at number 6, which he can play, which is fair enough. But he was used to playing that for Bayern, not in the Premier League where it's slightly more challenging. So he's a top player, mate. But we're talking about Liverpool not having money. They have spent a fair whack of money. Chamberlain come in, I think, for 40 mil. Keita come in for 58 mil. Then you look at the Becker deal, the Van Dijk deal. They've spent money. It's just this American model that they've got sell to buy, which of course they got a bit lucky with the Coutinho thing. It's all kind of falling apart now. Kanate is a top signing, but they need to reinvent that midfield. And I wonder whether Klopp, because he's such a good manager and because they play such attractive football, he's thinking, I'll try and get through this season. There'll be a couple on the way out. You know, Henderson's getting older. There's been talks about that contract. Can I wait another season and then refresh next season? Which I imagine from the sound of what FSG are like, they'll wait. Obviously, they've tried to be linked with Mbappe, which is quite hilarious. It'd be quite interesting if he ever came. But
I tell you what, that's I just don't get where that comes from. That gets spoken about a lot by Liverpool fans.
It's the Nike thing, isn't it? It's the Nike deal that Liverpool. It's a bit of a weird one.
He said something about him in an interview as well. He grew up a Liverpool fan. He modelled a lot of his game on Michael Owen, this and that. Hopefully not the injury side of things, and the obsession with horse racing. But hopefully everything else was. Hopefully it was Michael Owen before he got into his mid-20s anyway. But the other thing with Liverpool is, a lot of what they're banking on is Van Dijk comes back the same player. I still think Van Dijk, when you've got the quality he has, he is the best centre-back in the world pre-injury. Yeah. You never know, do you? You've seen players in the past with that kind of level of injury. The fact he's 30 now is a risky one. They are very much reliant on that. But Kanate, is he ready to, right now, be the Van Dijk for Liverpool? Right now? If Van Dijk doesn't come back fully fit, not for me. Too many questions about the Liverpool team, but they'll still finish second because Klopp is far better than Ollie. I don't think that's a hot take, is it?
No, definitely not.
Klopp is a lot better than Solskjaer, and it'll tell. It will tell over a 38-game season.
Nice. Locks, anything further to add on Liverpool, mate?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously we don't know how Virgil's going to be, how long it's going to take him to get back to full fitness. I mean, obviously ACL, it was an ACL, wasn't it? I mean, coming back from that is a big ask. I mean, a lot of players don't get back to where they were, before ACL. So hopefully he can. He like Oscar said, he's the best defender and best centre back in the world before his injury. And it will be like a new signing for them. I think they need a new striker. I think they need a number 9. Whoever that's going to be. I just don't rate Bobby that much. I mean, I understand what he does for the team. Obviously, he's not the out and out goal scorer, which I think they need. So I think that would take them to another level if they had one of them. So. Yeah, it'll be an interesting season for them. Watching from as an outsider. I mean, I had them in 4th, but to be fair, I could see them finishing anywhere. You could see them finishing, winning the league. To be honest with you, if they have a season like they did a couple of years ago. So, yeah,
nice.
See if they bring anyone else in.
Yeah, Liverpool second then for us. Right. Top then, we've all gone City. That's one thing we can all agree on. It's been reported on Sky Sports News now that City have open talks with Villa for Jack Grealish. I think we all thought it was happening, but the fact it's going on Sky Sports now, you'd think it's very close, as in it's pretty further down the road. That would be an amazing signing for them if they bring in Harry Kane. Does anyone see there being an issue if they don't bring in Harry Kane? Like, where are they going to persist with that false 9 throughout the full season? Because they don't have anyone else. I really don't rate Gabriel Jesus, if I'm being totally honest. I don't. I know Oscar's a fan of him.
No, to be honest, second part of the season, he was just all over the place, wasn't he, Jesus, in that sense? But they've got to get a striker. But they will. They can't not get a striker.
What was that?
Someone's playing musical chairs or something mad.
What was that, Oscar? It sounded like a Christmas decoration kind of vibe, like a Santa that you press and it plays a tune. What about City, Corey?
Yeah, it's an interesting point, isn't it, about the number 9. I think if they persist with a false 9, De Bruyne will play there. I think we're all in for serious issues if they end up getting Kane and Grealish, because I think they'll play Grealish on the left and they may play Foden at number 8 maybe, and then they'll just overlap and overload that left-hand side, and it'll be just disgusting to watch because no one will know what to do or how to manage it. And we'll play 2 right-backs against them, Fredericks and Soufal, and go, right, just try and deal with it a little bit. But if they look, I think Grealish is an unbelievable football player. That's a big difference. But creativity's never really been a problem for Man City. It's just a case of if they get Harry Kane, then it will be nailed on. And I think, I'm frightened to see how many goals Harry Kane can get in that side if they've got Grealish as well. It will be horrible. I think De Bruyne will go back to being a number 8, possibly, as well, rather than flitting between that 9. And he'll get more creative. He wasn't brilliant.
Imagine the set-piece goals as well, Corey, because Grealish will win free kicks in dangerous areas 24/7 in that.
Well, that's the thing. He's got so many options with bringing Grealish into the side as well. He can come a bit central. He could play off the left. He could probably play off the right. He can play wherever. But game over for me if they sign both of them. Seriously, I don't know if someone probably Leeds will come up with a solution. But I look at West Ham and think, nah, it's going to be
as per.
Yeah, leave it to you lot.
We
We nearly did it as well. We played so well against them, and you went and Dallas was like, with your 10 men or whatever. Yeah.
Didn't do it with 10 men though.
Yeah,
but the depth is absolutely insane.
Crazy.
If Diaz or Stones get injured. Oh my word! They've got to play Aymeric Laporte. That sums it up, though, isn't it? That sums it up. He's like the backup centre back.
And Nathan Ake. Nathan Ake can do his job.
He's all right. A fourth choice centre back, Nathan Ake. Thank you very much. And then fullbacks: Cancelo, Walker, Zinchenko. There's options there. I mean, the only thing you can say is if they don't get a Kane. If they don't get that striker in, but. I've got a feeling they might even convert Foden into a false 9. I think a couple of City fans have said that could happen. They might play Foden higher up, but they still need that focal point. You saw yesterday with Leeds to an extent. I know it was only a friendly, but without a focal point there, sometimes it's hard to make the ball stick. But
held the Costa man through the middle.
It was a bit. That was unexpected.
Mate, it was brutal.
It was, it wasn't great. But even if they can't get Kane, they've got. I just don't see. I just don't see anything other than Jesus going the other way. I still think Jesus will go to Tottenham, Kane will go to City, and then it'll be 60, 70, 80 mil in Tottenham's back pocket. I just see that being the case, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think. Sterling don't want to go, does he? I think he was offered as a bit of a mate for Spurs. And
look at the way Kane and Sterling combined at that Euros. You can't look at that as Pep and think, right, let's get rid of Sterling. I mean, it won't happen. It won't happen. No. I don't think.
Bernardo Silva, maybe.
I think Bernardo Silva's underrated. I think he was an important part of that team.
I just seen that he was being reported that he would go, and I remember in the City documentary, one of the first things Pep said was he would take Bernardo Silva to every single club with him, and then there's noise of him getting sold, and I was a bit like, don't make sense.
He's a bit of a perfect Pep player, isn't he? Yeah. And do you know what's mad about this thing? We haven't even spoken about Gundogan, and he scored how many goals last season? And it's like you're not starting for City, mate. And that to me, that's unreal. Like that's how. I mean, Sterling as well. Where'd you play him? It's just it's nuts,
Grealish, despite the cost, has genuinely got a battle to start. I think he will start because of the fee they paid, but he won't start every game. It's not like Villa. No. I think Locks will probably, when Locks comes back on. In terms of Mahrez was the star man at Leicester. At City, you're just another player. In that kind of sense, you're not like the man. Grealish will do well there, obviously, but it's a different kind of mentality, isn't it, in that kind of sense? You're not going to start... Even Kane wouldn't start every game, as mad as that sounds, because they rotate so much. They change the team every single week. But when you've got all those options, as Liverpool fans very, very keenly point out, in terms of the money they spend and the options they've got, I mean, if Liverpool are chasing a game and they need to bring a striker on, they bring on Divock Origi. No disrespect to Divock Origi or Shaqiri or any players like that. But then City, it's Mahrez, it's Bernardo Silva, it's potentially Phil Foden, it's potentially different options. You're thinking it's just a different world. It's a different world. That City team, I think, as well, if they get a Kane, if Kane had played in that Champions League final, they'd have won it. He would
have found a way. If Grealish is in that Champions League final as well, like that's another thing.
Exactly.
He would have found a way.
Why Guardiola waited so long to put Aguero on I don't know. I don't think Kane can replace Aguero directly, but in terms of just purely scoring goals and making things happen, Kane's a decent replacement. I mean, did anyone see Pep Guardiola like completely just welling up about Aguero in that kind of sense, and when he's just going, we cannot replace him, and that lot. You see that? I mean, it is true. It is true, to be fair, because Aguero's one.
I've seen some people say that was fake.
Well,
Did Aguero's dad come out and say he was off for the cameras? Guardiola's got a history of that, though. He does actually. A lot of people say it about him. He's quite a bit like a Marmite, isn't he? You have some people love him, and some people just dig him out.
I mean, Yaya Toure, while he was playing, just constantly dug out Pep Guardiola. And you're thinking, you literally play for this guy. You literally just. Anyway, it happened.
Zlatan hated him, didn't he? Zlatan hated him, man. What did he call him? Was he call him the professor? He didn't even call him by name.
No, it was worse than that. It was like little baby, I think, or something like that, or something.
The best thing about this move is for England in a way, because I want to see what Guardiola does with Jack Grealish, because the criticism for Grealish is doesn't work hard off the ball, doesn't press. He will have to probably do that within this City side. If he can incorporate a little bit of that in his game, and hopefully Gareth will start him. But I know he proved us all wrong and he came on later in the game, but I would love to see for him as a player. Like, these players improve all-round game. Be interested to see what he does with Harry Kane as well. Whether he changes him, whether he converts him back into that number 9, gets him in the box, in and around the area, stops him being the playmaker. So
the funniest thing is in that Euros was people freaking out about Kane in terms of being a playmaking striker, and they're saying strikers' currency is goals. I don't know how many times I heard that in the whole tournament. The strikers' currency is goals, and you're thinking, oh, just chill out. Just chill out. Honestly, just chill out a bit. I mean, he still scored like 5, didn't he?
Exactly.
Yeah, but a striker's currency is goals. I don't want him dropping deep. Just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
right. So that is our final table. Let's have a quick look at it here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Like a
City top.
Nice, yeah. City top, Liverpool, Chelsea second, Manchester United fourth. We've got Leeds in 7th, European places, West Ham 9th, Villa top 10 as well. Relegation for Saints, Norwich and Watford. But it's been a pleasure. Lox's Wi-Fi's dropped out on him. I think Lox needed to go, to be honest, but he didn't have the art. He just pretended that his Wi-Fi had dropped out. I think he was speaking to the missus when he told us he were burping. He was like, I'll be back soon. I'm nearly done. But I just want to thank you all for watching. Over 200 people, which is great for a Thursday. So thank you so much, each and every one of you. Thank you, those that get sent in the super chats as well, for the members in the chat. And of course, thanks, Oscar and Corey. Corey, just before we head out, mate, just to make you aware, guys, we will be back next Thursday as well. Like I say, we're going to do some more predictions, i.e. player of the season, top goal scorer, first manager sacked, all that sort of stuff. And then the following week, it'll be back to normal show because it's game week, it's game day. So we're only about 2 weeks out now. But yeah, Corey, what have you got going on the West Ham way? What's going down?
Loads, mate. I'm trying to address transfer rumours. I don't really like to do it, but there is quite a fair bit of tangible stuff kicking around, so I'm doing that at the minute. Other than that, mate, I mean, it's just really focusing on this transfer window. I'm going to try and do a vlog. I'm going to try and do a vlog for a pre-season game, and I'm up there next weekend, so I'm buzzing for that and try and get that out. So if you want to see what this London Stadium looks like, particularly for Leeds fans, you're about 3 miles away from the pitch, then go check it out and you'll see how far it is.
Nice. And Oscar, what's going on All Leeds TV? I've seen you did a post-match of the
obviously do a post-match tomorrow's game. What happens in that? Fleetwood away. Probably won't be doing much over the weekend. Me personally won't be doing much over the weekend, but there will be probably something going out for the Betis game on Saturday. I think, is it Betis on Saturday?
Yeah, it is.
It's just so many games, isn't it? It's typical Bielsa pre-season. When it gets here, it's absolutely just crazy. It's a game every single day. But yeah, got a couple of things planned. Same as Corey, really. I mean, I've kind of waited a little bit on the transfers until stuff has been confirmed. But I think as they get into the final month of the transfer window, probably do a couple more things on transfer rumours. And yeah, just obviously the typical stuff, really. Match previews, match reviews. Me and Phil have been discussing about doing a tactical analysis show. that'll probably be as the season starts, as we get a little bit further into pre-season.
Nice.
Phil's getting a bit more high tech. To be fair, he's getting a bit more
Good.
high tech. His contacts at Opta are coming in, so we will wait and see. It'll be me and Phil do like to have a row from time to time, but it won't be so much on player ratings. But a couple of things planned. To be fair, mate, it's and we should also mention as well. We're on the old game show together on the other day as well, weren't we?
Yeah, we did Family Fortunes, didn't we, on the LUFC Lewis YouTube channel? So make sure you check out that when that comes out. I'll be back tomorrow for Daily Leeds in the morning, 6 a.m. Make sure you check that out. And also, I'll be doing a watch along on the evening for Leeds versus Fleetwood Town. So make sure you stick around for that as well. It's all go, go, go. Thank you as always for watching. Have an amazing weekend tomorrow. Yeah, weekend, Friday. Yeah. And we'll see you in a bit. Peace out. Thank you for watching.